Hello, how are you? Can you hear my Chinese mood music playing? Ah, well, that's good. I'm going to set the mood today. But welcome to 9 Years in China with me again, old teacher Kenny. Um, Today we're going to talk about something terribly important. And this is really aimed at your people that want to be teachers in China. I know they tell you when you get over there, or maybe you go over there with the thought, I can change the world, and maybe you can. But I guarantee you, you have the power to change things in your class. It's so important as a teacher, if you're going to be a success, and I think that's why I did really good, and I hear from my students all the time on QQ and WeChat. It's not a day goes by that I don't hear from somebody. And I'll tell you what, the biggest secret secret to teaching is to teach with love. If you cannot teach with love, you'll never be a success as a teacher. I believe that totally in my heart. You got to have a vested interest in what you're doing and in the people that you're teaching. When the students are buying what you're selling, when they know you give a crap about them, they will respond so much better. When they know you are being honest with them, and it can be the foreign teacher like us, like me, or the Chinese teacher. You got to have some compassion, and my compassion often comes, from being a little bit parental, and sometimes I have to get on to students. We may do a little video about some students I have had to discipline, but the main thing is everything that you do, you have a reason, and you teach with love. And when they know you can care, they'll go tell everybody. A couple examples. I remember in one class that I had when I was in Fuyang, a little girl always sat in front, but she never really engaged in any activity that we ever did. Her name was Lucky. I still can remember she often wore blue was her big color, and I always remember her wearing blue to class. She had the long straight hair and the round glasses, and she was like the classic Asian student, kind of nerdy. But she just never did anything. And I had a really hard time trying to figure her out. She never got good scores, hardly. Like I said, she never was engaged. And I decided, well, I'm going to have a talk with her. And she's sitting in the front of my class. I have to see her constantly all the time. And I want to find out what's going on. And so after class, I told her to stay. And her and one of her, every time I ever talked to a student, I always had another student watching and listening. Very, very seldom would I have a heart-to-heart without a witness. I just felt more comfortable like that, especially if I thought, well, the student, maybe he or she will not understand what I'm saying. But, I sat down with Lucky, and I come to find out that she was not an English major on purpose. She got a good grade on Gaokao, the college entrance exam, and they kind of pointed the finger that she should be an English major. So she was there kind of against her will, and I can understand fighting back against that a little bit. Maybe there's something else that you wanted to do with your life, or maybe you did want to be a teacher, just maybe not an English teacher. But that was one of the things, and I found out, like a lot of girls, especially the girls, there's always a problem with confidence and their ability, and Maybe they listen too much to what other people are saying, their classmates. And so, like I said, I was sitting right next to her, and I told her, I said, listen here, hon, if you will work with me, play with me in the class, let's have a good time in class, and I want you to play hard with your classmates. I will help you at the drop of a hat. Anytime you have a question or you need to talk about something about English or whatever, I will be there for you. And I looked straight in her eyes when I told her that, and I could see the tears starting to come down. She was really touched that I took the time. She wasn't embarrassed or anything like that. She really, really was touched that I took the time to try to talk to her and try to help her. And she became a much different student after that. And I've done stuff like this numerous times. If I see a student that's got a problem, help them. Damn, it's only going to help your class to get students, get them going, get them participating. And I remember, I'll give you one more example. I had this freshman, and we were doing our semester test, our first semester test one school year, and she was a freshman, and she was in a class with many good freshmen. I'm talking about, she was in one of the top classes I've ever taught, and but we're doing tests, and we were sitting around the table getting ready to do our oral test, and I forgot what I was saying to her, but I could see she was really, she was nervous, and something was wrong, and this was her first time to be in a real test with a foreign teacher also, so I couldn't figure out what was going on. But before we got going, I asked her, so what's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. And she goes, I just don't like English. I hate English. And I'm sitting there going, why are you in my class? Why are you an English major? And same story that came up with Lucky. She really didn't choose to be an English major. Her scores with the entrance exam kind of pointed that she should be teaching English, or she should study English. But now this girl was different. For one, all right, let's go back. I'm going to tell the truth. She was kind of a short, plump Chinese girl. Not the normal, not pretty or anything like that. She just didn't fit the mold of the typical Chinese girl. And I kind of think her classmates maybe even made fun of her a little bit. But this girl had a great voice. And what I heard coming out of her mouth was good English. When I asked her questions, she would answer me back directly. It was clear, good pronunciation. And remember, I'm in a class with a bunch of good English majors. And I told her, I said, listen, I understand part of your problem, but it doesn't have to be this way. And I told her, I said, first of all, I do not hear anything wrong with your English compared to the rest of the class. I said, you are speaking just as good as Annie over here or Linda over there. I told her, I said, you are doing just fine. So do not doubt your abilities that you can do this. And just a little shot in the arm was all she needed. She needed somebody to tell her that everything's going to be okay, and everything was okay. This was a good student. If you were an English teacher, you'd be proud to have a student like her in your class because she can help other people with lesser abilities. She was that good, but she did not think she was good, and that's the problem. And so again, you got to teach with love. You got to be observant of your class. And even though there's 40 people in your class or whatever, pay attention. Look for those things, I was not there just to blah, 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 talk, let them do their work, blah, 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 blah. You know, I was not trying to change the world, but if I saw something wrong with one of my kids, I wanted to help them. And that's the attitude that you should have. If you're going to teach, it doesn't matter if you're going to teach in China or teach in Pakistan or wherever you're from. If you're going to be a teacher, you got to let them know that you have an interest in their future. And when you do, they'll respond. I promise you, they'll respond. So remember, always teach with love, teach with care, be observant, and always have time for your students. So anyhow, you have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's important. You know, I'm trying to keep the message going for you guys. And I still have lots of things to say about China. So anyhow, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? Pow, 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 pow. So bye-bye. 回头见。